Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty. You suck. You suck. You suck.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Marcus Hurley.
We did mention in the last episode, which you weren't on, Marcus, we did mention that there was a tease for Red Dead Redemption 2. They've actually released a trailer now. Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but I know a few people have. A mate of mine on Facebook kind of almost squealed with joy.
Yeah.
You could almost hear it through the words.
Yeah. It was a very short
But,
trailer, to be honest, and it looked as good as you might expect a game built with the GTA 5 tech would look. Obviously applied to a Western setting, so they can kind of take all that vast detail that they have in those GTA games and kind of push them right down into a very sort of tight, sort of very detailed look at the Wild West, you know, like it's...
Well, you haven't got to worry about really tall buildings and concrete and too much glass and stuff.
No,
so
it's just
the detail
bushweed
can go
and-
into the full nitty gritty, can
It's
it?
just bushweed and rattlesnakes and cactus and hills,
Some
horses,
interesting looking rocks.
guns, the odd explosion here and there. There's probably a working railway, I imagine. But yeah, they hint. It looks like they're hinting at sort of multiplayer stuff. There's 7 characters in the marketing materials, and I don't know whether that suggests like sort of co-op or big multiplayer, like competitive stuff, but they went into multiplayer in a big way on GTA 5, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of like version of the heists that they had in GTA 5 in this, so that would be cool.
It does look gorgeous, though.
Yeah. I suppose the even bigger news, though, arguably, was the announcement of the new Nintendo console, the Nintendo Switch, which, as the rumours turned out to be quite true, it is indeed a handheld home hybrid console. Have you seen any of the stuff for this?
I saw the official trailer. I would probably describe it as a handheld docking device. It's almost like they looked at the popularity of the 3DS and 2DS and thought, we're doing better with those.
Yeah.
Let's make a device that essentially is one of those, but can link up to your big TV.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to whether it gets a power boost from the whole docking port or anything like that, or whether that's just the whole thing is in that.
That is it, apparently.
Yeah. So it's like it looks a bit like a tablet, to be honest, with slightly bits on the side.
They've since confirmed that there is a touch screen on it, because they do want all the mobile developers to get on board as well. The interesting thing about the trailer was that they demoed it playing Skyrim, which it's a 5-year-old game, so that doesn't blow my mind at all, although the idea of playing that on a handheld is amazing. But they listed out a whole list of third-party publishers, and they always do this every time they release a new console, and it always turns out to be bullshit because their machines aren't powerful enough to handle the games that those publishers are making.
No.
So there's some talk. The big one that people were screaming about was that From Software's on there, the people that make Dark Souls.
Okay.
So if they could put Dark Souls,
I don't know.
If they could put Dark Souls on that machine, that would be awesome, because that's the kind of game, that takes ages to play, but you could chip away at, which would make it like a brilliant fit for a handheld device, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I would get one and play. I would hold off playing Dark Souls until that comes out. If that was the case.
To be honest, I don't really. Yeah, but from my experience of the Dark Souls games, they work via a bonfire setting in which you have to find the nearest one, and there's lots of trouncing around.
Yeah, but this will probably have like the PSP. You turn it off and it would freeze.
This is what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. I'm hoping it has a good memory, and I'm hoping it has a fantastic battery setting, because playing those games at that level, I mean, you look at how mobiles are now. the moment you start to watch something on your mobile, half your battery's gone.
Yeah.
We're almost back to where laptops were in the sort of late 90s.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have compared this device, because it uses the NVIDIA Tegra processor, it's very similar to NVIDIA's Shield, which was like some kind of streaming device where you would stream your PC to it, which meant you could effectively leave your PC in your office or whatever and go to bed and still play on your PC. And this is like that, but it's an all-in-one unit that's gonna function as a full console. So but I quite like it. I quite like the way you can take the controllers off, do multiplayer.
Yeah.
I think both of those controllers have individual accelerometers in, so that you can use them to steer, like Mario or whatever.
Yeah, it looked like that.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Yeah. There was another Mario game. It looked like a new one in the advert as well, in the trailer. Like another Mario title.
Oh, yeah.
Which looked impressive with new lighting and everything else, and
cool.
Sunset, which could have been mocked up for the actual trailer. Who knows? It could have just been a non-existent piece of technical demo.
Yeah, maybe.
This is the problem. You just don't know until the thing's actually out and people start playing a early version.
Yeah, I mean, I feel more warmly towards this than I have any other Nintendo product since the Wii, I guess, because, well, I didn't even feel like that about the Wii, because I just thought that was weird. But but this one seems more like something I would want as a core gamer.
Well, like I said, I guess they're saying goodbye to their 3DS devices and stuff now, because they're using the cartridge technology from those as well. Because you saw the little sort of like the way that those consoles work, in which all the games are on a little cartridge.
Yeah.
And that's how they are in this. So it seems to be that they're going after their handheld market more as a core, and then integrating that into a home console thing as an afterthought. Yeah,
I think as far as those little cartridge things goes, I think that's just to keep the retailers happy. Otherwise, this could be a fully digital delivery system. It's such a weird concession. It seems so poxy. I mean, we had this with I guess it's still the same with DS and also the PlayStation Vita. They were selling they still had the boxed copies on the shelves. It's not going away, because they still need those brick and mortar shops to shift those machines. So
I was kind of hoping that we would see like the old SNES style cartridges. When I heard the rumor that they were going back to cartridges, I was thinking, oh my god, how awesome! And I had this idea. I said it to someone at work, and maybe I should copyright it. Maybe I'm mentioning this idea now to copyright it. The idea of a cartridge game, but the cartridge is essentially like a solid state drive.
Right.
You put all your game saves and everything on that. So basically you just look after the one game. You wouldn't have all that issue of cloud saves and, oh my god, my console's full up, what do I need to delete? You'd basically have a collection of games again, like you did in the 80s and 90s. But instead of it being like a, 2 meg cartridge or something, it'd be like a 15 gig solid state drive.
Yeah, you just need a high capacity memory stick.
That's what I mean. You plug it in, reduced loading time and everything else. I thought they were going that way.
Well, they probably there's probably some form of internal storage, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well, you'd hope.
I really thought they were going the way of, because especially since they were bringing out the retro NES and rumours of a retro sort of SNES as well.
Oh, yeah.
I really thought they were going this way. I thought they were bringing those out, and then they were going to bring out the NX, and it was going to be a similar style, like saying we're going back to our roots, essentially.
Right.
But, so I was a little bit kind of, oh, okay, I like I see what they're doing. I do respect Nintendo massively for sticking to their guns.
Yeah.
And not just copying, because this console generation has bored me.
For real.
I really almost didn't get a console at all. It was only through opportunity that I did. If I hadn't bought it then, I don't think I would have bought one now. I might be going towards a PlayStation just for the VR, because I don't think my rig will ever be ready for Oculus this side of...
Yeah, well...
God knows when.
Well, speaking of PSVR, have you heard that Game are actually charging for in-store demos?
I've seen it.
Really?
We passed the Game in town, actually, and they were charging a tenner.
It's outrageous, don't you think?
A tenner just to look at VR.
To be fair, they are saying that they will deduct that from the price of the system if you buy it. But what I find like really sad about this is that it's making what is a already inaccessible medium even more inaccessible.
Yes, totally.
And they're saying that like they need to charge to have extra staff on, but then if they're saying you can have the money back afterwards, then they're completely backpedaling on it.
I've been in several game shops. The extra staff are often there, picking their nose, scratching their ass, or just staring at you.
Yeah,
like blank-faced NPCs.
yeah.
If they're charging you a tenner to have someone stand there, say you need to put this bit at the back of your head, yep, and wiggle it up and down, where you could just print something out, like a little, freestanding display unit.
Yeah.
That basically has the instructions on there. All you need is security so they don't do a runner with it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. Just let them get on with it.
Yeah, they're saying it's £5 for 10 minutes or £15 for 30.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because the one I passed was tenner.
Oh, maybe they've changed it. Was that in Chelmsford?
Yep.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, well, whatever. I think it's disgusting. I really do. I feel like they're nickel and diming us. And they need to let people... They need to be inviting people in to try this stuff, not asking for money. And it's almost like they're setting up like a fucking tombola in their fucking shop. It's so consumer hostile, and it's just.
To be honest, I'm not really surprised from Game because their whole part exchange policy is a joke. You go in there with like a AAA title, they'll give you £2 off something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I'm completely with you on that. I think it's a sham. I think it's ridiculous. I think they should be actually ashamed of themselves. And considering that could be the difference, you think, oh, I've got to shell out between £5 and £15 to view it. But why not view it and then go in and spend £300 on the visor?
Yeah. And
then another, £300 on the console. Game, you've made like 800, 600 to 800 quid. The whole thing, if they get a PS Pro, it's nearly £1,000 for the whole setup.
Yeah. Which I might have ordered today. I might have bought
Your
one.
uncomfortable face says you've done more than might.
Yeah, I totally ordered one because I realised that I have a week off.
You could.
And I kind of had in mind that I was going to get one this year anyway, and I just thought, fuck it.
It's all about deliverables and goals, isn't it, mate?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I pre-ordered Dishonored 2 like an idiot.
Oh wow, okay.
But I know that game's going to be good. I like the first one, so I mean, like, there's going to have to be something seriously wrong with that game for it to not be good.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I guess we won't see you for a little while.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the reason that leads me into my my next news story here is that, the reason I went for it is that I knew that I wouldn't be patient enough to wait for the reviews because Bethesda have decided, following the line they took with Doom earlier in the year, that they're not going to be providing anyone with advanced review copies of any of their games. And that includes the recently released Skyrim Special Edition and Dishonored 2, which is out in a few weeks. So there's going to be no consumer advice on the game anyway. So I thought, what the hell? I'm just going to have to trust my gut. Because I'm not going to wait like a week or two to find out what Polygon gave it before I put my money down, It's weird. I like it in a way because it means that we're as educated as the media outlets are. But there's a reason those media outlets are there. And they're there to, give customers a good idea about the games. Of course, it's been ruined recently by institutions such as Metacritic and certain outlets being favoured, that being given more favourable treatment. which is kind of skewing those scores and making them completely useless, to be honest. So, I mean, I used to use Metacritic as a guide, really, just to kind of get an idea of whether something was worth playing or not. But nowadays, when you see the scores go up, you look at the actual outlets that are actually reviewing the game, and they're not like proper reputable outlets. They're like fanzines, almost, most of them.
Dave's Games and stuff like that.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's not to sort of discredit those outlets, but I don't know. I just find that some of them are perhaps a little bit easier to sway. Like, you know, EA apparently are only giving out review code to outlets that have reviewed their games favourably. So, you know, if you
that's weird, because we already had that whole thing in which journalism was compromised, where games companies were actually taking journalists out, whining and dining them.
Oh, Gamergate.
And then they were... Well, no, it's before Gamergate.
Oh, was it?
This was going around... This was pre-Gamergate. This was when Edge magazine almost disappeared, because they had a couple of journalists that were like that, and a few of the other big ones, like when PlayStation magazine was a thing, and CVG. CVG actually vanished because... or in print form, because all their journalists were found out to have been wined and dined by the industry. So a lot of their reviews that were always more favourable, even the crap ones, you realise they were quite skewered.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I get really worried about things like that, because I just think... I remember buying games when I was younger for my old PlayStation, the PSX, the PlayStation 1, and I would go into HMV, pick up a game. This looks good on the cover, read the back, buy it, take it home. This game's shit. Hop back on the bus, go back to central London that night, hand the game in, and they'd say, why are you bringing this back? And I'd say, it's just rubbish. Just absolute rubbish. And they'd give me my money back. No questions asked. We don't live in that world anymore.
No.
So you buy a game and it's absolutely dire. You're stuck trying to eBay that game at a significant loss.
Yeah, definitely. I
don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're just going to have to trust your gut these days and make even more informed decisions than you would normally. Like,
yeah. Well, I think if you go for a genre that you generally enjoy, I think you probably can't go too wrong.
Yeah. Well,
with most games these days.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I've been really resistant to buying a lot of games like this sort of end of year period, just because they've been, one, like I've heard just bad things. Two, they're just really expensive, and so I've just had to choose one pretty much, and that's Dishonored 2. Yeah. Enough about the PlayStation, but no, I've gone for Dishonored 2 because I figure that's the one. You know, that's the one, and I got the Skyrim Special Edition for free because I bought the DLC in Steam sales, so that was cool. But nice. Plenty to play. Too much, really. This has been the Not Playing Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself and Ian talk about movies and TV on the Not Watching Podcast, and Adam, Ash and Will talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening Podcast. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes of this show at notlistening.co.uk, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
My friend, I'm inclined to agree, 'cause I suck. I suck at